This is All Access MMA.
My next guest has got a huge fight coming up here against Edson Barboza at UFC 262 on May 15th. It's Hurricane Shane Burgos back here on the program. Shane, how's it going, man?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, of course. Excited to talk to you about this fight. What a matchup this is. How excited were you when you found out you'd be fighting Edson Barboza?
Super excited, man. This is a guy I've been watching since I've been an amateur fighter. Since I was in high school, I've been watching this guy. So to fight somebody like this, it's an honor. It's awesome.
Did you get plenty of notice? It seemed like this was announced, you got like a full camp for this one.
Yeah, I got a full camp and a half for this one. And not only that, but my last fight falling out, it feels like I've lived in camp for fucking 6 months now.
Yeah. No, it's been a lot. I was going to ask you about that. So that was supposed to take place on the ABC card, or the first UFC on ABC card. UFC 257. Never mind. I'm getting my cards mixed up there, but save myself. Were there any other opponents? Because you were supposed to fight Hakeem Dawodu. Was it just a case of they couldn't get anyone to fly down there and fight you type thing?
No, they did have other opponents for me, but it actually worked out for the best. And I really do believe everything happens for a reason, because I had so many fucking injuries going into that fight where I was
interesting.
Like, okay, this might be. You might have to pull out. I was like, no, man, I'm not pulling out of this one. I hadn't fought since June at that point. I was like, I'm good. I'll be able to tough it out. And then when that happened, I was like, all right, that was a sign. And not only that, before any injuries happened, I started the camp off with getting COVID. So
right. I remember that. Yeah.
That was fucking miserable, man. I had COVID at the end of November into December. And just to get back into the swing of things after having that, I thought I never had it. I didn't know what to think of it. And I thought I'd be able to just, as soon as I'm sick, just jump right back in. But that wasn't the case. I had to build up to be able to go full force again.
Interesting. Okay, so it kind of all worked out. Because I was going to ask you, I figured because you lost that fight that they would have rebooked you right away. But if you had some injuries, like you said, kind of silver lining and everything, you needed the time anyways to recover, right?
Yeah, I really did.
Okay. When were you actually able to get back and go full force on training? Because I'm sure once the fight was off, you probably took care of those bumps and bruises.
Yeah, once the fight was off, I was like, you know what? Let me just chill. I took a little vacation. I went away just to make sure I actually gave myself time. Because when I'm sitting around at home, like, I can't sit still. I have to train. I have to go. So I was like, you know what, Veronica, I told my wife, I was like, let's go down to Miami, relax on the beach for a little bit. I didn't really relax on the beach too much. I went to the gym every day when I was there, but
right.
I didn't do any MMA training. I just did some cardio and some weight training, stuff like that, just to give my body that full time to recover.
You know what? I'm the same way, and I don't even fight for a living. But if I go on like an all-inclusive, I got to go to the gym because I don't feel like I've done anything. I can't be that guy that just sits and drinks all day. I got to do something in between there, right? So.
Literally my favorite thing to do on vacation. My wife gets so annoyed. It's like, my favorite thing to do on vacation is to work out every morning, and then I can go enjoy the rest of my day.
Exactly. See, you got it made. You can have a couple drinks, then go, lie down, get a nap in throughout the day if you have to get up a little bit earlier. So I'm with you there. So that's good. How long did you get to spend in Miami?
5 days.
Okay.
Just
that's
enough
good.
time to relax.
I'm not going to lie, super jealous. Like in Canada right now, we can't leave. We can't go anywhere because of the COVID restrictions. So that's awesome. You got a bit of a vacation in there. That's great. That's kind of what I'm getting at there.
Florida's wide open too.
Exactly. Well, at the time of recording this, we got the first UFC with fans back right in Florida. So obviously they're ahead of the curve in that sense. Let's talk about Edson Barboza, 21-9 record. Before we talk about the style matchup, because obviously we know what he's going to do, or with style there. Do you think he beat Dan Ige? Because that's one of the things too that some people felt like Edson kind of got robbed in that one. What was your take on that?
It was a super close fight. It really was. I mean, I'm not a judge or anything, and I'm happy I'm not a judge, but it was a close fight. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if I think he beat him or not, because he didn't on paper, but
right.
It wasn't a fight that I don't look at that fight and be like, oh man, Edson sucks. You know what I mean? Just because he has a loss on his record to Ige. Ige's tough as fuck too, and that was a super competitive fight.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter what I think at the end of the day, and I look at that fight as, even if it's a loss or what, I judge it as what it was. I don't really care whether it was a winner or a loss. It doesn't really make a difference to me.
For sure. No, well said. Style wise, I mean, you guys are both going to stand in. I mean, I doubt this fight goes to the ground. Am I missing something here? I mean, this seems like a pretty awesome fight on paper with you two just slugging it out.
Yeah, definitely going to be on the feet. I mean, that's just obvious. But I think we both have underrated ground games and underrated wrestling. So I would not be surprised if he tried to take me down. Especially after I started landing some shots. That wouldn't shock me at all. So I'm definitely preparing for that too, because you can't go in there thinking, oh, he's going to just kick, because that's all he does is kick, and then he comes out throwing hands and wrestles. You know what I mean? So I got to be prepared for everything. And he's a veteran. I don't think he's going to come with he's kind of stuck in his, not stuck in his ways, but he has his style that we know exactly what he's going to do. And I feel like I haven't really been shown my full overall game yet. So I think for him, I'm pretty sure what he's going to do, but I'm not surprised if he tries to take me down. For me, I feel like I can fight everywhere. I really feel like I haven't shown my full facet of mixed martial arts.
Anything different for this camp? Usual cast of characters, Julio Arce, Jimmy Rivera, Mike Trezano. Anything new there? Or is it Luis Galdino? I got to give a shout out to him. I know he's always working with you guys.
Yeah, I've been training a lot with Lyman Good too. I mean, even though he's a 170 pounder, the dude kicks like a fucking horse. He's super fast. He's super explosive. So I was like, you know what? That's actually the perfect training partner for me. He's a similar height to, I think they're the same exact height as Barboza. Kind of looks like him a little bit. They're both Spanish, right?
Right, there you go. Yeah,
he's super explosive. He's super fast. He's a perfect look for me for sparring.
What's going on with him? I feel like we haven't seen him in the cage in a while. Is he just recovering from injuries, or what's the deal?
Yeah,
there?
he had some going on. He's worried about that, but once he's back, he's going to be back full force. I can't wait for him to come back.
Good stuff, man. Weight cut, I imagine, is going well. You always make the weight, so it's never really an issue.
I mean, it's never an issue, but it always fucking sucks, man.
Right. You got plenty of notice, right? So to get down to featherweight, it's like, a little bit easier, I'm assuming.
But you literally called me, and I'm literally watching the Food Channel right now. As soon as you call, oh crap, I forgot I got an interview right now while I'm watching my food shows.
You made it on time, though. I want to give people credit. Shane always makes time for the interviews. He's never late, so I always appreciate that. Who's going to be in your... Sorry, what were you going to say?
I said I'm punctual.
Yes, exactly. I know. We both are. It's good. Your corner, I imagine your coaches, like, who's going to be in the cage with you that night? Luis Galdino probably too, right?
I got Ron Schulman as my main cornerman, Ray Velez as my boxing coach, my second, and then my third I'm still working on. I'm not 100% sure on the third, but I got a couple options for that, so I'm excited to see who the third person is going to be. But I don't know yet, so I don't want to say yet because I haven't even asked those people yet. But I got a couple different options.
Good stuff. How's this fight playing out on May 15th? Obviously, you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, otherwise why sign the contract? But how do you envision the fight playing out?
I think for sure this fight is everything that on paper, what you think it's going to be, Shane Burgos versus Edson Barboza. It's going to be exactly what you expect it to be. And I'm not just saying that because to build the fight up. I don't see how this fight could be boring. I don't see how this fight could not live up to the hype that it's already producing. Like, people are so excited for this fight, and I'm so excited for this fight. This is one of those fights that I'm like, I get out of bed, I'm like, yeah, you better get your ass on the treadmill, you better get your ass to the gym, because I know he is, and this dude is dangerous. And honestly, like, this is when I fought Emmett. On fight week, I'm seeing all his knockout highlights, and I'm like, because I'm just scrolling through Instagram, UFC keeps reposting all his knockout highlights. The same exact thing's going to happen this fight. I'm going to see a bunch of spinning hook kick knockouts.
Terry Edom on repeat, right? That's always the one that everyone plays, right?
Exactly. So it's similar to the same thing, and I feel like the more dangerous the opponent, the more pressure that gets put on me, I think the better I perform. And I like those nerves and that little bit of man, this guy's dangerous. This guy's coming in to kill me because I'm coming in to kill him too. And it's always the same for me. It's kill or be killed, and it ain't gonna be me.
Obviously, big implications with this fight. In some ways, I feel like this is a more high profile matchup than Hakeem Dawodo, and I love Hakeem, and obviously he's Canadian like me, so I'm not trying to disrespect him by any means. But Edson Barboza is a name that's fought the names. He's fought Habib. He's fought the who's who. Like, do you feel like forget rankings for a second, but just a win over Barboza, does that give you the type of clout that's going to propel you up those rankings just because it's Edson Barboza?
Man, you stole the words like out of my mouth. Everything you just said is exactly how I feel. Like, no disrespect to Hakeem, but I think he would even agree. Like, when it comes to name value, having a guy like Edson Barboza on your resume and having that W next to it, it holds so much weight. I think the guy's fought. He's got 9 losses against who? Like, look at the guys he's lost to. They're all fucking great fighters. So I'm gonna be that number 10 that gives him the loss, and I'm gonna add myself to those great fighters. But yeah, this is a fight that, even though I'm 11, he's 14, I think I win this fight, and I think it shoots me up even further, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. They just announced the Ultimate Fighter. It's going to be Volkanovski and Ortega, which I love the fight. I can't wait for that one. It's too bad what happened the last time. I just wonder, them as coaches, how that's going to translate, viewer-wise, because I kind of wish, they could have gotten Colby and Masvidal or something, you know what I mean? Like, obviously Masvidal's fighting this weekend, but you get where I'm going with this, that, you need some personalities there, and I think, especially with Ortega, I love the guy, but he's not really, a guy that's going to, I don't know. What are your thoughts on them being coaches, I guess, first off?
I completely agree. I'm definitely going to watch it, because I'm a fucking hardcore fan, and I watch everything related, but when it comes to reality TV value, you want that those clashes with, you got Colby and Masvidal, that's going to be like when it was Chael and Vanderlei. I think it would be that interesting and pull a lot of people in. With Volkanovski and Ortega, they're 2 great fighters, and they're very, very good fighters, but they're cool. There's not going to be any shit talking. There's not going to be any animosity, no drama at all, and it's a reality TV show at the end of the day, so you kind of want that. So I mean, I guess I just assume that they know what they're doing. but they know that they didn't have those options, because if they had the option to do Colby and Jorge, I think they would have 100% ran with it. Or even Usman and Jorge, I think they would have ran with that too.
Yeah, no, good point. Good point there. What does Max Holloway do now? And just, again, you're in the division, so I'm just curious what you would do if you're him, because obviously he's done enough to get that title shot. He beat Calvin Kattar very decisively. He's definitely in the wings there, but now they're filming this show. They're probably going to fight. I don't think they've announced the official date, but I'm assuming it's going to be in the fall. That's a long time to wait in between fights. Do you think Holloway should wait, or do you think maybe go up to lightweight, take a fight or something? I don't know. What do you think?
This is exactly what I was just going to say before I stopped. Them being the coaches of Ultimate Fighter only prolongs their fight. I mean, if Alex needs time to recover from his COVID, then that's 100% fine. But if he's good to fight, I think they should have just had him fight, because, like you said, we got Holloway, we got a bunch of guys waiting in the wings, and this is just going to prolong that. Because let's say they fight in fall, that means Max isn't getting his shot till December, the earliest, right? End of the year card. So I think if I'm Max, I'm probably going to 55 to look for a big, not money fight, but a big name fight or something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. Before we go here, Netflix, what are you doing downtime-wise? I know obviously you're a dad and everything, but what are you watching on TV right now?
I gotta find something new, man. I've been watching like reruns of these food channels. I watch Guys Grocery Games. I've been watching that a lot. That's a fun one. Watch Food, rewatching those. I watch those every single fight camp. But I'm rewatching Ozark again too, because I only watched it one time, and I'm just rewatching it for the second time through, and it's a fucking phenomenal show.
Love that show. Yeah, it's great.
Any recommendations, please send them my way.
Yeah, you know what? I'll try. Honestly, I don't know. I asked the question, and then I myself have not really come up with anything. You know what I'm really into is like crime documentaries. I don't know why. Like that's like super cool. I just watched Trial 4, which is like this documentary about this poor kid who like got blamed for a murder that he didn't do. So I'm like kind of into that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still looking for some myself. But if I have any, I'll slide into your DMs and I'll let you know if I find anything good. But I'll tell you one that's kind of. And I might have even mentioned this to you before. Have you watched Trailer Park Boys?
No.
Okay. Check it out. Let me know what you think. It's like this fake reality show about these guys that live in a trailer park, and it's hilarious. And I've got a bunch of Americans to watch it, and they find it pretty funny. But I'm curious to get your thoughts. But it's on Netflix. It was a show that didn't do very well on TV, but on Netflix it did quite well. After the fact, and so much so that they ended up making more seasons. So it's like a comedy. It's a comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out, man.
Okay, I'll send it to you after. I'll send you like a trailer or something after on Instagram when we're done this. But in the meantime, we got to watch this fight, man. UFC 162, May 15th. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Thanks to my team Tiger Shulman's, my strength and conditioning coach, John Ron, I believe Elite Athletic Training. Shout out to all my sponsors, NutriBio, Tiger Shulman's Pro Shop, the Eat Clean Bro. I got so many sponsors, so many friends, so many family. Thank you to all my family. Thank you to all the people that support me. I appreciate you guys, and I'd like to think that I'm a fan-friendly fighter, and I've been getting a lot of love back from the fans ever since my last fight, so I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you for having me on.